Hi, my name is Mickey Romandi. I am from Norwalk, Connecticut right now. We just moved to Norwalk, but I've been from Norwalk from Chicago originally, so I know Chicago politics. I want you guys to understand that. And I have been a 38-year registered Democrat. Got involved in voting in 2006, and because of what the Republicans were doing, I really didn't like it, so I kind of rallied for the Democrats. And I think I even worked a Kerry campaign. And when Nancy Pelosi finally got up on the podium and opened her big mouth for the first time, I said, what the hell did I just do? Well, what I'm tired about is the fact that they keep blaming, the Democrats keep blaming George Bush for the 8 years of fiscal irresponsibility, you know, the war and the whole bit. But in 2006, those guys got the power. Got it in the House, got it in the Senate. They were running things. So from 2006 to 2010, the Democrats are responsible for all the fiscal mess that we're going through. When you have a fire, you don't add gasoline to the fire. Now, I've worked in the polling place just recently for a primary. My wife, if you go on doingitlocal.com, went against him and asked him questions about the health care plan at the Darien Library. So it's doingitlocal.com, where he turned around and he goes, I happen to know everything about the Constitution. Look, Jim Himes looks like a nice guy, but you know what I always say? I say that you look at a person's smile and you can tell the honesty of the person. Jim Himes has got a fake smile. I just supported Rob Merkel. Rob Merkel did not get in as a Republican, but he won second place. I spent a lot of time knocking on doors, making phone calls for Rob Merkel, because Rob Merkel had an honest smile and he had a message that he was going to deliver in Congress. Had it not been for Deb Basella, who had a lot of money and beat him. We were very sad about that, because after coming out of working from the polling place for about 24 hours, I had to go to Rob Merkel's SBC primary thing, and we know then that he lost. But you know what? Rob did a good job, and had Rob won, he would have beat Jim Himes like you wouldn't believe. Jim Himes is lying to the people. He's a Nancy Pelosi supporter, and he believes in his health care plan, which is going to all take us to the cleaners. And I'm not kidding. So I'm being recorded right now and saying whatever I can say out of my heart. Again, 38 years, a registered Democrat. Guys, if you're Democrats, you need to start changing your minds and start doing what you know is true instead of just supporting the Democrats because you're a Democrat. If I was a supporter of a football team like the Patriots, but I like the Jets, I might want to go for the Jets sometime. But you guys keep going for the Patriots. Now, I'm not condemning the Patriots, but I'm using that as my analogy of why we shouldn't continue to keep supporting Democrats when they're spending money like drunken sailors. And when drunken sailors spend money, they have to stop when they don't have any money. But what the Democrats do is, as drunken sailors, they go and they take money from somebody else to pay for these ridiculous programs. When they talk about these things like Social Security and all these incentive programs, they never talk about knocking out welfare. They never talk about knocking out illegals who come here and know the law better than we do, so we can't do anything about it. When Arizona went for their law, I supported Arizona. And it seems like Obama made sure that he got those government people to send them to court, and they lost the parts of the law that they really needed was to protect their own borders. If they're going with this $6 million or $6 billion program about protecting the borders, they're doing it a little late, and they're not really going to do anything, because Obama wants those Hispanics, those illegals, to become legal so that they will vote for the Democrats on the next election. I am totally against that, and there are Hispanics that are legal here, there are blacks, there are whites. All these people are part of a Tea Party, And the Tea Party are not radicals like Nancy Pelosi calls them as Astroturf. No. They're just regular people like me who want to voice their mind and believe in we the people, the voice of the people, the power of the people. And that's what I'm going to say. Thank you. So what I'm trying to say to you right now is that you guys need to start blaming yourself. And I understand that the whole thing of what your goal is for November 2010 is basically to use the Bush thing against the Republicans, and that's what you guys are going to do. You're not going to say anything about what you did, and I think the Republicans need to turn around and say that the Democrats are responsible for 4 years of fiscal mess. So I supported a Republican candidate, Rob Merkel, who won second place, and he was going against you. I really appreciate all the stuff that you've done, but at the same time, I don't agree with anything that you've done. So thank you very much for that, and, that's all. My voice is kind of carrying a lot louder than I wanted it to.
Thank you for working the polls. Look, I don't think you've heard me blame George W. Bush tonight. I think I've played it. I don't think you've heard me use the word Republican or Democrat actually more than maybe 2 or 3 times tonight. The reality is, and I'm not standing here defending my own party. I've been very honest with where I partnered with my party on some spending issues. One thing I know for sure is that this doesn't get solved if it is a blame game and if this is a Republican or a Democratic problem. The reality is everything needs to be on the table. The only way we get through this is if there are no sacred cows, and if we all go to the table and say we're going to contemplate anything, even those things which ideologically hurt us. Otherwise, it simply doesn't get solved. Thank you.